guys, this is Rurouni K95 here, and welcome to the 2023 edition of my DVD and Blu Ray Collection Library Video Series. This is the first video here on the Physical Media Video Library Series. Today we're going to be showcasing some 80s movies that I have here that I picked for today's video, because most of those that I have been upgraded to Blu-rays, because I have something under 80s movies, like I have sci-fi, and there's fantasy, horror, and there's also some anime I have right here that I picked from my anime collection, because I got 3 of those as well thus far. So let's dive right into this today on the Physical Media Video Library Series. Welcome back. So in this first video here on this 2023 edition of my DVD and Blu Ray Collection Library Video Series, this has begun to the whole thing as how I wanted to come across for this particularly, of how you would expect of what I've been doing the whole thing, for how whenever it comes to how I'm into the whole collecting a lot for these new editions, from what I'm saying about as well. Well, that's particularly of how I wanted to come for this as well. Yeah. Excuse me. So, well, there is a certain ones on here that I'm going to show you that I just got them on there. Most of them that I have, that I don't have, are that I have been upgraded, but there are some ones that I bought, which is a no-bringer upgrade as well, because we're going to be showcasing some 80s movies on there on Blu-ray that I have right here, because I have some under horror, there's some sci-fi, there's some fantasy, and there's also some anime movies that I have here on Blu-ray from the 80s, because I picked 3 of those from my anime collection just to get this little heads up to cater about this as well. FYI, this is the first time I wanted to do a video like this, because most of them I have were on DVDs and VHSs, but I have a good bringer upgrading them to Blu-rays as well. Yeah, because I have a feel that I've started to become a Blu-ray collector, because got introduced into the whole collecting everything from the Blu-rays as well, because why not? Because that's a good, proper way to upgrading movies to the Blu-ray as well. And same goes for anime on here as well. Yeah, because upgrading movies to Blu-rays, because despite they have a better picture quality than VCDs and DVDs and VHSs were as well. However, there's some 80s anime on 4K Ultra HD, which we'll get to in just a moment, that I wanted to get in the future. So, without any further ado, which is right here, right now, let's dive into the Blu-rays here, what we got for this particular video. And this is the first time I wanted to do this. So, this one here I got here on the Blu-ray, and this is the one that I have here that is the perfect way of how you have it in your horror movie collection. Just to give a little heads up, just a little thing in particular, that's the thing for that. And this one here, and that's what I'm saying for my whereabout as well. And this is the one that was directed by Stanley Kubrick, and this is based on the novel by Stephen King, and that is The Shining. I must say, I love this movie. This is a definitive movie that I have right here. However, they also made a movie called Dr. Sleep, which is basically how your typical basic movie, however, they take stock footages from this movie. It's like, how do they do that for? However, it's more different than that, but nothing can go wrong better to watch this movie first, of how this is the greatest epic horror movie from the 80s on here, from director Stanley Kubrick, who recently worked on Clockwork Orange, Full Metal Jacket, and 2001: A Space Odyssey. He also worked on 2001: A Space Odyssey as well. And also, he worked on his last film, Eyes Wide Shut, as well. But for overall, The Shining, this is my favorite movie. This is basically way better than that shitty crap-ass movie. No, the miniseries. The crap-ass miniseries from 1997 of the same name. I mean, they made that unnecessary miniseries back in 97, which is nothing compared to this classic right here. If you want to watch a better version of The Shining, I highly recommend you to watch the Stanley Kubrick movie, because it's a better movie to watch as well, because I love this movie particularly. I mean, Jack Nicholson, he did an excellent job in this movie, along with other actors like Danny Lloyd and Shelley Duvall in that one. This is an excellent movie in my opinion, because this how it got me introduced to not only Stephen King novels, but it's also my introduction to Stanley Kubrick, because Stanley Kubrick is one of my favorite movie directors, right next to alongside with Walter Hill and Paul W. Sanderson, and what's that other director I like? Enzo Barboni, E.B. Klutcher, as well, or whatever you pronounce it, and my favorite director, Giuseppe Colizzi, as well, because I love these kinds, and also Barry Sonnenfeld as well, and Tim Burton as well, and also there's Brian Usna as well, particularly, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Because this is a excellent movie. Because I was originally going to get this on the DVD, but I just picked up a Blu Ray release, because why not? Because this presented it in 180p high definition quality and 16:9 definition quality for the good proper Blu Ray release. That's the thing for that as well. And another movie that I have right here, and this is the one that I got on Blu-ray when I was buying a lot of anime back in 2019, and that is Heavy Metal. Yes, this is directed by Gerald Otterton, and this is also produced by Ivan Reitman, who recently worked on other films such as Ghostbusters, and he also worked on Space Jam as well. But Heavy Metal, in my opinion, I thought this is a great movie. I mean, I think I like it over Heavy Metal 2000. Well, Heavy Metal 2000 you have to be in the mood for it to make it more different than an anthology film, but the original you can throw in any time as well. However, this has some deleted scenes with optional commentary, and this also includes the documentary on here. And this has the original rough cut with optional commentary by Carl Macek, who's responsible for his famous work on Robotech. So Robotech fans will take note on this if you're watching this on an original feature-length rough cut commentary on here. However, there is also similar movies to Heavy Metal, like when Nelvana made Rock and Rule, which I think that was 2 years later in 1983 as well. Especially for what Nelvana had. They originally wanted to make this, but Gerald Potterton did direct this movie on there, particularly. However, I mean, I love the artwork on the disc on this as well. And this has a reversible cover, which I'm going to show you as well. Yeah, this is a good bringer way of how I got this. I was originally going to get this on DVD, but instead I just picked up the Blu-ray release instead, because this is a good bringer upgrade to the Blu-ray as well. Because why not? Blu-rays have better quality, that's why. And another movie that I have right here on Blu-ray, when I was at the library during a book sale. This was only for like $1 on there, and that is The Road Warrior. This is actually the best of the Mad Max movie franchise on here. This is directed by my all-time favorite director, George Miller, because he's the director for The Road Warrior, because this movie stars Mel Gibson on here. And the music was composed by Brian May, who is the guitarist for the rock group Queen in that one. I didn't know the guitarist who's from the band Queen composed this music for this movie. However, this is part of the franchise on here. I really wanted to get the first Mad Max movie and Beyond Thunderdome. That's another two I need to get as well. Yeah, because this is like your typical post-apocalyptic movie on there as well. Sci-fi action in a post-apocalyptic setting on here. And however, they got manga artists like Tetsuo Hara and writer Burinson has captured how they wanted the idea or inspiration from Mad Max on here. When they created the Fist of the North Star manga, because I think they have acupuncture of how they have using inspiration from this movie, with the biggest main inspiration from this particular movie on here. However, this DVD has commentary by director George Miller and cinematographer Dean Semler, and this has the introduction by film critic Leonard Maltin in that one as well. Just to give a little side note for this as well, because I love me some 80s movies, but that doesn't mean I was born in the 80s, no. It's just that I just wanted to own something just to get in a little category, because I have my biggest huge knowledge for this particularly accordingly as well. And another 80s movie that I have here under this is basically my first introduction to upgrading movies to Blu-rays that I wanted to get, despite that I have this on DVD that I got at Barnes & Noble back in 2009, and that is The Last Unicorn. This is the Enchanted Edition from Shout Factory on this DVD Blu Ray combo. This has the brand new length audio commentary, and this has The True Magic, the story of The Last Unicorn, and this has highlights from The Last Unicorn Worldwide Screening Tour with Peter S. Beagle, and this has animated storyboards, and this has the original theatrical trailer in that one. And this is the original version that uses the under mild profanity, where they use the word damn in that one. You know, like damn you in that scene. Yeah. For some reason, the Lionsgate DVD release from 2007 has removed the damn you line for no freaking fucking reason at all. So it was such a sticky situation of what Lionsgate did. But thankful God that Shout Factory has put this version on this Blu-ray release on here. Yeah, you expect hearing the damn you in a G-rated movie. And of course, this particularly is animated by Japanese anime studio Topcraft on here, which it later became Studio Ghibli. What Hayao Miyazaki had a lot to do for that one as well. But this is directed by Arthur Rankin Jr. and Jules Bass, who recently worked on Rankin Bass Christmas specials, including Year Without a Santa Claus in that one. But in this animation on here, this is like more different than other ones. But I mean, it looks kind of anime-ish in that one, or should I say, basically like anime-esque style Japanese animation on here. Instead of stop-motion claymation, no. Instead, they wanted to make it more with like Japanese anime style on here, especially I know it's almost I know it's all it's kinda anime, but sort of anime-ish, I would say, because it's animated by because it's animated in Japan by the studio company Topcraft, which is basically a Japanese anime studio on there accordingly. However, there's some of the discs option on this particular edition on here. This has both the DVD and this one has the Blu-ray on here. Because I had this particularly a good proper upgrading movies to Blu-ray as well, because I am a Blu-ray collector, because I'm starting getting into the Blu-ray collecting because it's my new game as well. Here's the artwork of the unicorn in that one. I mean, it's just a reversible cover on this particular release on there. Just put the DVDs and the Blu-ray disc back in here. Yeah. What can I say? Because I had to get this. This was only like $1 at a library book sale back in 2007 in, I believe it was January, when I was getting a lot of manga. But when I saw this, and I thought, ooh, I should get this so I can upgrade this, because this is how I started getting into the whole upgrading movies to Blu-ray, because I love upgrading things to Blu-ray. And also, there's also 4Ks, but once I can go to Best Buy, I can get some Blu-ray, 4K Ultra HD releases on Blu-ray, because I could have my own little Blu-ray 4K section in there. If I could ever thought on this. We'll in just a moment. And another movie that I have here on Blu-ray that I just got when I was buying a lot of anime, and that is Blade Runner, the final cut. This is the final cut edition of the original movie Blade Runner. However, there is a 5-disc edition of Blade Runner on here. However, this one also did got a 4K Ultra HD release on there as well. I'm wondering if I could upgrade to get the 4K Ultra HD release of Blade Runner, because despite that PlayStation 5s play 4K Ultra HDs on here, one of these days I will get a PlayStation 5 one of these days as well. And yet, I'm pretty sure that this makes a lot of sense as well. But overall, this is presented in 180p, 1080p high definition quality on there. And this has some introductions by director Ridley Scott, and this has some 3 filmmaker commentaries. A lot more, and there's a lot more on this Blu-ray based content like this as well. Particularly, what can I say? I love this movie because Blade Runner, in my opinion, is my all-time favorite sci-fi movie from director Ridley Scott, who recently worked on Alien as well, particularly. What can I say? Because I wanted to get this movie on Blu-ray, because I think I found this in the Blu-ray section at Rasputin Music when I was buying a lot of anime. But when I saw Blade Runner on Blu-ray, I had to buy this because I have a good bringer way to upgrade this, to buy this on Blu-ray particularly. That's the thing as well. And another movie that I just got on Blu-ray on there, and this is an absolute fascinating movie from the 80s from director Richard Donner, and that is Lady Hawk. This is actually a classic movie from director Richard Donner, who brought you the Lethal Weapon movies, and he did the most versions for Superman 2 on that one, and he also did Goonies as well. But this movie, in my opinion, this is an absolute fascinating movie as well. I mean, I just love the cinematography for this movie, because this was done by Vittorio Storaro, who recently worked with Dario Argento as well. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer, she's a best fascinating actress who played the woman who becomes the Hawk by day as well, particularly. I mean, in my opinion, Michelle Pfeiffer is way better than that annoying crap-ass Margot Robbie as well. However, anyways, Lady Hawk, however, is my all-time favorite on here. There's some locations on Lady Hawk, if you're going to take note for this. Some of it was filmed at Rocca Calascio in Abruzzo, Italy, which is part of Europe. And there's also Campo Imperatore, which is the location where They Call Me Trinity and Trinity Is Still My Name was filmed there, because those are the two spaghetti western comedies that feature Terence Hill and Bud Spencer were filmed there. Any of you fans of Terence Hill and Bud Spencer movies could take note on this. Lady Hawk was filmed in the parts where in Campo Imperatore. That's where the Trinity films were famously filmed there as well, if you're watching this movie as well. There are no extras on this features on here, like the ones that were featured from the original DVD release that I have. However, I got this as a good proper upgrade to the Blu-ray as well, because why not? Because that's a good fascination way to upgrade movies to Blu-ray as well. And fine, that's all I have for movies under horror, sci-fi, and some fantasy on there. Finally, for any of you anime collectors out here, to the anime I have here is Vampire Hunter D. This is the original anime movie in there. Excuse me. However, this has the new English dub from Sentai Filmworks on here. However, I do have it on VHS, which it has the original English dub from Streamline Pictures on here. I thought this was going to be released on Discotek Media, but when I saw this online, I thought to myself, I always thought this release was from Discotek Media, but it was Sentai Filmworks on there. However, this has the original Japanese trailer on this one here, and this one has previews for other anime titles from Sentai Filmworks, such as the preview for Ninja Scroll on that one as well. This presented it in 180p high definition and 4:3 quality. This is approximately about 80 minutes on here. And in my opinion, this is directed by Toyo Ishida, who recently worked on Fist of the North Star anime series on there as well at the time. Despite that, Fist of the North Star and Urusei Yatsura anime TV series were still currently airing at the time in 1985 as well. Despite how you can come by for old 80s anime. I mean, I like this alongside with Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Despite that this is based on a series of novels on here, this is the definitive anime film to watch as well. However, this has the original Japanese language track with English subtitles in there included. Because why not? Because they never bother editing the old English dub from Streamline Pictures on there, even though I have it on VHS. That's why. And this is a good proper upgrading to the Blu-ray also. Another one here I got is Urusei Yatsura Beautiful Dreamer. This is actually my favorite Urusei Yatsura movie from the Urusei Yatsura movie franchise on here. This is directed by Mamoru Oshii. This is the last Urusei Yatsura movie Mamoru Oshii has directed on here. And a good news to that as well, this is the perfect anime movie to watch. This came out around the same time as the Urusei Yatsura anime TV series was still airing at the time as well. Because, and a side note to that, the Urusei Yatsura anime series is now coming out on Blu-ray that Discotek Media has finally bought the license for that as now, because the original license to Animago has expired after 50 volumes on the DVD as well. Especially if you're going to get all 50 volumes of them on DVD, including the movies or the OVAs. It's going to cost you like $1,000, so it's going to be almost costing of how a lot more money to get, like almost particularly like costing a lot more than the cost of your rent of your house as well, or your groceries or something. But if you have, you're gonna have the good patience of how you're gonna wait for the Blu-ray release as well. This comes in a slip cover on here. This has some liner notes, and this has trailers on here, and this also has the English and Japanese language audio option, and this also has the director's commentary from Mamoru Oshii on here, which I'm thinking that's basically ripped straight from the Central Park Media DVD release of this particular anime movie. Although I do have it on VHS, but I got this on Blu-ray because this is a good proper upgrade to the Blu-ray as well, because that's the thing as well. And finally, another one that I got here on Blu-ray, and this is the definitive edition I have, and that is Akira. This is a classic movie from director Katsuhiro Otomo. And however, this is the definitive edition, and this means you won't be getting any other editions on here. However, this one also did got a 4K Ultra HD release on here not too many moons ago. This has some both different English dubs on here. One has the old English dub from Pioneer Gineon Entertainment, and the other has the old English dub from Streamline Pictures on here included, all in one for this particular release on here, as from what I understand why. And there's a lot more on this DVD and Blu-ray based content as well. Both Isekai Yatsura and Akira have these both liner notes that I've shown you in my previous videos as well. And at last on here on Blu-ray that I have here is Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone the movie. I do have the bootleg DVD one, but when I saw this at a flea market, this was only $1 when I bought this, because this is a good proper way to upgrade to the Blu-ray on here. But this one never includes the Japanese language track as well. Here's a reversible cover on here. Shenron on that one as well. Yeah, this is presented by 180p high definition and 16:9 format on here as well. And this has the English voice track with the original Japanese music on here. And it's widescreen transfer from the original Japanese film masters on here. And this is remastered in high definition quality. Of course, basically of how I wanted to come by for this one as well. Of how I wanted to come by to just to consider that as well. So that's going to be it for my video here for today, you guys. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's what I'm saying for this video. This is the first time I wanted to do a video like this here on the Physical Media Video Library series, is that this is the first video in 2023 for the very first time, because I want to showcase them like these to you, because most of those that I have were on DVDs and VHSs. I have finally been upgrading to Blu-rays now, because that's how I have been upgrading movies to Blu-ray since 2017. That's why. Because Blu-rays has better quality than the VHSs were as well. Because that's why I keep the VHS tapes unplayed for now, because I'm just going into the whole upgrading movies to Blu-rays. That's why. Hope subscribe for content, Anime Planet, Patreon, links in the description. Smack the like button if you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below in this video as well. And also, click on the subscribe button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RuRoniK95. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel as a newcomer, especially if you're watching the channel. Smack the notifications bell button. Be sure to get notified also as well for more latest updates, just to keep you noted as well. This is RuRoniK95 saying thank you for watching my video, and I'm glad you liked it. I hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next video. Hope you have a great day. This is RuRoniK95 signing off, and thank you for watching my video, and I will see you soon for more videos. Take care.